We finally have another deep dive for College Football 25. Today is going to be the sights and sounds of the game of college football. A lot of the mascot stuff, the pregame, during game rituals, and a whole lot of copyright content, I imagine. I'm going to mute potentially some of that, as I know some other creators have as well. But if something gets claimed, it gets claimed. It is what it is. Let's get into this video, though. Enough yapping.
Hey everyone, Kirk Herbstreit here, and welcome to the EA Sports College Football 25 Sights and Sounds Deep Dive. We designed College Football 25 with a philosophy that every team is somebody's favorite. So to create a truly authentic and immersive game day experience, we gave a little love to every single school in the game.
Who gives a hoot? The Owls do. It's a touchdown!
Let's take a closer look. It was a massive undertaking to research and recreate unique team traditions. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you'll get to experience all kinds of iconic pageantry, from stadium environments to turnover celebrations to mascots. Finer details like crowd theming, touchdown traditions, and rivalry content truly help set the game day atmosphere. Players on some teams touch a sign for good luck on their way to the field. Cheerleaders and marching bands create human tunnels in classic formations during team intros, and pyrotechnics light up stadiums. We've got mascots on push-up boards, riding motorcycles, planting flags, and animals charging down the field. Ultimately, we know that each team comes in a different shape and size, and in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience them all. Aside from the action on the field, we all know what truly makes college football so electrifying: the fans. In order to recreate the intensity and authenticity of a college football crowd, we partnered with ESPN to capture crowd reaction audio from some of their biggest broadcast games. For some matchups, you'll be greeted by a colorful crowd theme painting the seats. Whether it's a whiteout, a blackout, or a stripe the stadium theme, it's all in the game. Unique fan sections will be leading cheers with painted chests, team-specific hand signs, dynamic wardrobes that change based on the conditions, and custom chants.
That's a wrap. Kirk and I did some joint recordings. It is an incredibly detailed process.
He wasn't kidding. We spent hundreds of hours laying down commentary for every game scenario you could imagine.
It's a pick two to win the game in overtime.
The broadcast team also includes Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, and Reese Davis. To make it game day every day this season, pre-order the MVP bundle today.
All right, there is the Sights and Sounds deep dive. I probably would have had to mute the Mo Bamba song being played, but I will say it's nothing big, and maybe it'll be changed in-game, but it sounds like, you know, you're just listening to the song, like you're just listening to it. It doesn't really sound like it's coming from the stadium speakers. That might have just been for the video, so at the end of the day, if you missed out on that part, Mo Bamba playing, crowds yelling. That's really it. But let's get into this actual deep dive. And here we are. Welcome back to the Campus Huddle, your home for news and information about EA Sports College Football 25. Straight from the developers. Before we hear from our developers, Ohio State's own Kirk Herbstreit is going back and giving a look inside the sights and sounds of College Football 25. Christian Brandt here, senior game designer, proud alumni of Penn State and college football fanatic. As a presentation lead, I'm here to take you through all the sights and sounds of 25. The vision, their whole tagline is every team is someone's favorite team, which is kind of cool. I like what they're talking about with that. It's like some teams you kind of get the gist of what they're about, but like, you know, if your favorite team is just, you know, a team that isn't one of the biggest schools in the world, you're playing the game, it feels like, you know, they're not that special. But what they're talking about here, you know, is they've got kind of a a unique feel to every single team, which is obviously huge. Sights and sounds, picture this. You're playing as Penn State, getting ready to take on your opponent. This all starts with your team running out in the tunnel. It's a zombie nation blasting in the whole stadium chanting, "We are Penn State." We recreated that feeling, sound, and visuals of pregame as if you were down on the field with them. There's nothing like it, and we wanted to make sure that you could experience the same feeling that these players have when you're walking out as your favorite team. Of course, the traditions, they have that all in the game. The runouts to nail down the authentic feeling of college football. School atmosphere is where it all begins. Walk out of the tunnel with 100,000 family and friends screaming for you, supporting you. We stay up close and personal with our camera style throughout the game. This is done so you could feel the excitement with our epic runouts for each team and feel like you're just as much a part of the team as the real ones, which is pretty cool. So motion capture, nothing really much to be said, but basically it seems like most of the stuff, if not everything you see in the game, was actually done by people, doing mocap, which is, I think mocap is great in like every game. It's just great. You're getting realistic, feeling situations, and obviously it's not going to feel completely fake. You've got these stick people running out, obviously, and touching the banner. But obviously they talk more about that, specific schools, jumping up and touching the banner. We hung pool noodles from that on top of that. Players ran through tearing down the pool noodles to simulate the fact of ripping the banner down the middle. Cool. For the Gators tunnel, we travel to Gainesville to get an exact scan of the Gators statue that the players tap on the way from the locker room to the field. We also created a prop with the exact same height to mocap tapping the Gator head, then walking down the tunnel to the swamp sign overhead. Of course, a bunch of different mascot stuff as well, so a lot of different specific examples of them doing mocap to, replicate the real-life experience, if you will. As far as game day, mascots are as much as one of the most fun aspects of college football. I mean, yeah. The variety and details unmatched across sports. This encompasses everything from humans in massive costumes to real animals. We have 50 total mascots in the game, including 40 team mascots and 10 real animals representing their schools. Once again, with the team mascots, I really hope they do have the mascot games. I didn't really play them that much in NCAA, but yeah, I mean, it would be cool to still have that. But obviously, you can see here, the mascots, they've got the real animals as well, which is really cool. Now I just want to play Red Dead Redemption, let's be real. We have one developer that really cares about this, made sure all of the animal runouts were perfect, which is pretty cool. Turnover traditions, the new era. Not only do we have the classic school traditions in the game, but the new era of traditions, including turnover and touchdown props, made it into the game as well. All this action takes place during gameplay, and examples of what you might see are chainsaws, championship belts, basketball hoops, and even a throne. The field we play on, where you play, is one of the most important aspects of your college football experience. We are proud to say that we worked hard to deliver as many stadiums with as much accuracy as possible. This was achieved by visiting local venues such as the University of Florida to gather detailed references from every corner of the stadium that we could possibly find. Of course, they had a bunch of different schools send in photos, nearly 80,000 photos to reference from, which is cool. We plan to update each stadium's post-launch as we receive new architecture and designs from schools so that College Football 25 is authentic to everything you see on Sundays. And of course, once again, another thing is, once you have this groundwork done for 25, assuming there's going to be a 26, it should be that much easier for them to add even more, right? Like, because you have that baseline already set. Of course, they had some stadium toolkit that allowed them to develop all the structures and whatnot for the stadium, which is pretty cool. This efficient workflow allowed the team to meet the ambitious goal of building over 150 stadiums within a single production cycle while maintaining high quality and attention to detail. So you see what I'm saying with their a single production cycle. So basically, when they have this, next year's game, this was the hardest they probably had to work by far in like a long time for EA Sports. And it should be almost, that much easier going forward. So as far as like people wanting new features, new gameplay modes potentially, you would assume that'll be even easier to make going forward because you have the groundwork for a lot of the presentation stuff already done. But suit up in your favorite uniform, cloth materials, stitching patterns, colors, patches, stripes, logos, names, and numbers. They have different variations of that to create uniforms for 134 teams with multiple variations of helmets. We had to create a brand new tool set which allowed artists and designers to build uniforms in real time, seeing their work instantly in Engine. This allowed the team to create incredibly detailed uniforms across 134 different schools. Emotional soundscape. We have the feeling of being at a game, the crowd, the band, the cheerleaders' chants, And the PA music between plays is unlike any other sport. Crowd noise, examples of them getting actual crowd audio from ESPN. Remember that OT game from 2022 between LSU and Alabama? Yeah, we were there, and we got all of it. So obviously, in addition to that, in Baton Rouge, we added in capturing crowd noises from 41 games in places like Oregon. So a bunch of different stadiums. So a lot of real crowd noise, if you will. Fight songs, so obviously traditional songs. We utilize an amazing group of musicians who are just as passionate as us in getting these songs right. Many were previous students and alumni from schools, which is pretty cool. Not only did we record each team's fight songs, we also recorded many of the rousers that are normally heard between plays and during pressure moments throughout a game. Some examples include Go Gators, Roll Tide Roll. For these stadium, obviously not Go Gators, Roll Tide, there's a pause in there. For those stadium rousing moments. All right, fair enough. Over 180 school bands and drum grooves. Marching, percussion, brass, and so a bunch of musical stuff. Crowd themes, of course, they also have over 170 different patterns for schools that have different crowd patterns. Each seat in the stadium was hand set up seat by seat to match the patterns. Also, if your school has multiple themes, those are in too. Here we have the stripe out, the helmet stripe, and then it's one of the most electric atmospheres in college football, the whiteout game. True. Where's the photos? Is it just okay? I guess. Dynamic attendance, a new feature to help bring more authenticity to the game, revolves around attendance levels in the stadium to help paint a better picture. Here's a great example from one of our team members who was playing a dynasty with FIU. During the first couple of games, the stands were not very much full, which resulted in a lower home attendance or field advantage stadium pulse. Once he landed a big win on the road at Indiana, and the team record was 7-0, the stands were becoming more full to start the game, but he ended the season with 10-1 record and finishing the top 25 rankings. Home games would result in sellout crowds, and the home field advantage pulse meter was now rocking high on the way to the conference championship. I like that because before it just feels like the crowd doesn't matter, right? And obviously in college football 25, especially for college football, it matters more than ever. Crowd section layouts. In addition to seeing the unison of the crowd come together for key matchups, each and every stadium is set up with its band section, away visitor section, and student section. Also, schools are equipped with pageantry props accurate to life, such as pom-poms at Michigan State and Tennessee, tiles at South Carolina and Pitt, and even the tiger tails from Missouri. High-energy student sections. Student section is the lifeblood of the stadium that brings the energy, passion, and emotion, well, obviously, that spreads across the full stadium, creating that over-the-top college football atmosphere that we all love. We all know that the students do all game, stand and cheer. So in the game, the student section stands the whole game cheering on their team. We capture both male and female actors screaming at the top of their lungs to recreate those high-intensity third-down moments. Not only are the moments, the big moments captured, but also the heartbreaking ones. Anyone remember the Surrender Cobra? It's in the game. Just don't miss that game-winning field goal, and you won't. And you will be spared. Okay, fair enough. Bunch of different hand signals. We researched schools and captured each team's hand signal tradition during pregame runouts, and after positive plays throughout the game, you will see the fans supporting the team. So you have a bunch of different hand signals, which is cool. Chants. You got a bunch of different chants. Not really much to say here. We ended up capturing over 220 chants, which is awesome. Iconic voices in the booth. You obviously have a bunch of different voice lines. 870 hours. That is crazy, though. Like, that's a lot of hours to be, like, commentating, which I get, because, once again, we're talking about this is probably a contractual thing, right? Like, these guys working this 870 hours is basically to set that foundation we talked about. If they want to add some things, they don't have to do another 870 hours. So, they can just get in, do a couple hours of new commentary they want to do, and they've already got that baseline in. But then we have studio updates as fans of college football. Week to week are happy. So like we just talked about, it seems like, time to time, national upset scores for games. So, okay, so... yeah, but, new stuff as it goes. Celebrations. No season is complete without a championship celebration. Celebrations come with the glamour, flair, and the most important aspect of it all, the hardware. We built each trophy from scratch, matching the weight and dimensions of real-life trophies. So, real-life championship celebrations. Pre-game flow. This is probably the biggest thing out of the entire article, just kind of reading ahead. Presentation is not only about the visuals and audio, but how the game flows and feels from play to play. We have built a new look. Yeah, we get that. We tested tons of layout variations throughout the year until hitting the right one in this new streamlined experience. You won't miss a beat of the action. Will be informed on important information pertaining to the situation in game. Once the play is finished, the screen shrinks to the top left of the corner as replays and patch rate continue to show. That's kind of cool. You can start navigating the playbook while also viewing important updates, informative data in the top right corner. So some of the things you'll see, here's an example of it, of course, is the stat comparisons, today's season, career versus last week versus opponent, impact players, who they are and why they are the impact players, showing their abilities, ranking top players from around the country in touchdowns, rushing yards, etc., rankings for conference, media, and coach polls, and potential playoff brackets, wear and tear, field goal, kicker range, and much more. We have over 400 panels to keep game feeling fresh and new. Keep each game feeling fresh and new. And there it is, behind the scenes look at the presentation of College Football 25. See you on the field soon. We are. Okay, there you go. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. I really like this. I like the pip and game flow tab they're talking about, showing a bunch of different stuff while you're in the middle of things. So it's not like you're just instantly clicking through, the plays at every time, which I think is awesome. And then obviously a lot of mocap stuff, so definitely should feel pretty authentic. The movements should be very realistic. Obviously, they have the insane amount of times they put with the voice lines in the booth. Should feel like less generalized, like, there he goes, that person just did a play. We should have very specific things, especially to each team themselves. They have all the chants, you have the hand signals, now you have the crowd, so it seems like the actual, the fans, the students, it'll actually feel like pretty realistic. It's not going to feel dull, where it's just like, oh, those guys are yelling. That's all we got. They're yelling. That's it. But you also have the different stadium layouts, and obviously you have the celebrations in mid-play, and you have the animals with the mascots, and the pregame rituals and whatnot. It looks great. I mean, that trailer was actually really hype. I mean, you compare it, once again, this is a game that is, 11 years in the making, technically, or at least 11 years, away in between. So you're expecting more, but to compare this to the Madden, kind of trailer we got, it's like, I get it, this is a deep dive, but even like the reveal trailer of college football was better anyways. But like, it's just on a different playing field, right? Like, it is crazy. Like, they actually look like they care, which is crazy to think from EA. So, hoping the game is as good as it's being advertised, because if so, I think we all, at least for once in our lives, have to give them some props. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. Let me know in the comment section below what you're excited to play first in College Football 25, and what you liked or didn't like from the trailer. Anyways, probably Bison's Stats and Awards later today. It was going to be Stats and Awards and playoffs, but with this, it'll maybe at most be Stats and Awards, and then tomorrow will be playoffs instead of a rebuild. We'll do a rebuild on Friday, maybe. Regardless, thanks for watching. I think guys come back for next video, but until next video, I'll see ya.